So welcome to the Lighthouse for our resiliency session today. If you hear any ambient sounds in the background, they happen to be pouring cement. They're making a new parking lot across the street from our home. So we'll just, as always, have a mood of inclusivity around the outer world and the inner world. So for today's practices, I want to focus on some recitation practices, which is a very beautiful way of connecting with ourselves at the level of the electron. Recitation is the repetition of sounds or names or phrases, or any sort of arrangement of mantric intentionality. And these sounds bring us home into the haven, into the harbor, and into the hologramatic heart that is with us all the time at the level of 100%. So in the old teachings, they say that jappa, which is the practice of recitation, it's the practice of the repetition, that jappa creates tapas. So jappa creates tapa. And tapas is heat. And this is really good news for us as practitioners. So when we are doing a sound meditation having to do with recitation, we're building an internalized bonfire. You hear me talk about Agni on a pretty regular basis. So we're strengthening our inner fire. We're building a heat that is transformational, that is transubstantiating, that is transfiguring, and that it gives us the ability to transurf in all of the variant possible perceptual realities that we might select from. So we're going to, in part, you'll be listening and also have the opportunity to practice. So we're going to be working with mudra and then the recitation. So I find that this is a very sweet and effective way of practicing that, again, puts me on the web of insight and inspiration and impetus in a really big, useful way. But before we begin, let's tune in to the particular conversation that is wanting to come through this configuration of people that are on this call right now, this configuration of togetherness. Let's just take a moment in quiet to tune in that way. So this first practice has to do with balancing the energies of Jupiter and Sun in the tattvas, in the elements of your substantive body. So we're going to be using our Jupiter finger and our Sun finger primarily, but we will be utilizing all of the fingers. We'll also be applying some pressurization on the fingers and through the fingers, about 5 to 10 pounds worth of pressure that's going to be pushing through the hands, that's going to be igniting a lot of electricity and bringing a lot of energy into the body. So I find that this particular meditation is super useful for shaping our velocity, and maybe even more importantly, very, very useful for shadow integration. A lot of that is going on right now in the world and in our individual processing. Shadow integration. So may we have an eye and may we have a heart for how we're integrating our individual shadow, we're integrating the collective shadow, and then we're integrating what I like to refer to as the golden shadow, which is when we are pushing off the things that we don't want to have the ability to respond to. We're pushing it off to the big people of the world to take care of. It's important that we have an eye, a triangulating eye for these three types of shadows on a meditative path. So again, that's integration at the level of the individual shadow, integration at the level of the collective shadow, our group shadow, and then integration of the golden shadow. So the mudra is going to look like this. You're going to conjoin all the fingers to begin with. Keep your index fingers pointing up and have your thumbs pointing towards your chest. Cross the right middle finger over top of the left middle finger. Keep the ring fingers, keep the end pad of the ring fingers conjoined and pressing. And then stack your right pinky finger, the external segment of the finger, stack it over the left. Okay, so we have a confluence of pressing and stacking going on. Now is when you're going to activate that 5 to 10 pounds worth of pressure that I was referring to a moment ago, and then hover this shape that you just created right out in front of your heart center. Relax your shoulders down, lift your spine, curl your low ribs in, and then let your buttock bones sink down into whatever surface you're seated upon, so that your low back is very receptive and very capable of receiving the breath. Okay, so I'm going to turn on an Om track, and we're going to use our voices to sing along with it for a few moments here. As you're creating the sound of the Om, you've heard me say this many times. As you create the sound, bring it up out of the depths of your humanness, out of the ball of the belly, up into the cave of your heart, through the blue energy gate of your throat, and out into the field, and allow the sound and allow the energy and the frequency of the mudra to help dissect and integrate the shadow, to turn it into an energy that is giving life to life. So let's practice this for a few moments together. Allow your eyes to just stay closed down through this meditation. Into your heart, into the hologramatic nature of your heart. Let every white blood cell in your living body dance as a luminous healer, powered by purpose, giving you clarity, returning you to inspiration, handing you the impetus and the insight needed, desired for a joyful life. 10 pounds of pressure in your hands. Staying inside of it for a few more recitations, getting behind the curtain of your awareness, so as to work the pulleys and the counterweights of your sensory system. Get behind the curtain, let the sound dissipate the density and grant you access. Let this be the last recitation. Allow your eyes to stay closed. Inhale wholeheartedly. And exhale entirely. So we're going to work with a new mudra and a new mantra. So that was more of a bija, what we were just in, the beauty and the totality that a bija is, which is all sounds present in one micro sound. And certainly Om is, in my views, one of the most effective bijas that we can work with. So for this next mantra, I will be sounding the entirety of it because it's a long haul. And this is the antanasiviti. And this is the Thunderbolt mantra, a really powerful mantra that gets in there. It's a cutting through kind of a mantra that cuts through all of the limitations and all of the obstacles and all of the roadblocks that are keeping us from experiencing and expressing a life of flow. And it's said that it's such a powerful configuration of sounds that it's not just working on our particular here now anatomy, but that it's of a caliber that reaches back through the generations and does some really effective cleanup work in our field in that way. So that's the momentum that we have on our side in terms of the medicine that is the mantra. So we're going to work, like I said, with a different mudra, and this is a mudra. I probably have on way too many rings for this mudra, but that's okay because you're going to be the practitioner of the mudra. I'm going to be making the music for it here. You're going to weave all your fingers together like so, and then press the index fingers together, press the middle fingers together, press the ring fingers together, and then press the pinky fingers together. For myself, getting those pinky fingers pressed in that way is the most challenging. The other ones are very amiable. And then the women are going to stack the left thumb on top, and the men are going to stack the right thumb on top. So get the thumbs stacked, and then hover the hands in front of the heart. Okay, so you're going to have the hands like so, and then every time you inhale, you're going to push the hands forward, and every time you exhale, you're going to pull the hands in. As if you were operating a handheld saw of sorts, okay? So you're cutting. Every time the mudra comes back in front of your heart center, pull your abdominal wall back and gently up towards the bottom of the heart. This is an incredible micro practice. If you take one thing from our time today, it might be this movement and this mudra. And maybe you press play from the IP website so that you have the sound to do it with. Okay, so it's the inhale and then the exhale. And we're going to do the entirety of the breathing out of the nostrils and into the nostrils. So have a peek. Okay, so create the weave, press the fingertips together. Ladies, left thumb on top. Gentlemen, right thumb on top. Hover the hands in front of your heart center. Inhale and exhale. So get that going and keep it going until I have us stop. This is a beautiful practice for arresting something that all of us suffer from on the ordinary, and that's analysis paralysis. As human animals, we have this brain that overthinks things. And right now, during this COVID lockdown, safer at home cycle that we are navigating, we are all thinking a great, good amount. So use the power of this practice to pull you out of that and to return you to the kind of consciousness within you that isn't outside of you, but that is right inside of the haven and the harbor and the home of your heart. So keep the breathing going. Find the hypnotic, percussive pace of your breathing. Cha fire that's letting you change through the methodology of the meditation. Let it build heat. Let it concentrate and consolidate your life energy, your chi, and your prana. Take it a little bit deeper. Go to the threshold, cross, and discover the opening. Andana sifati keana ante, andana karana denana ante, andana vakam sunana ante, andana jabai kyaman mante, andana jabai kita akare, andana jabai paravare, andana karam kite bilalare, take antena bai jae aho antena janna koi, mahoda keya mahoda hoe, vada sai maucha tao, oja oba ojam na, oeva oja ove koi, ati sochi janna soe, jeva da ab janea ab, nana kanara e karme date. Andana sifati akyana ante, andana karana denana ante, andana vakam sunana ante, andana jabai kyaman ante, andana jaba kita akare, andana jabai paravare, andana karan kite bilalae, atake amdena pai jahe, andana janna koe, bahota ke ya bahota hoe, vada sahiba ucha tao, ocha hoba ocha nao, evad ocha ove koe, ati soche ki janna soe, jeva da ab janea ab. Nakanara e karme date. Inhale wholeheartedly, communing with your quiet beingness, the level of the electron, feeling every living white blood cell in your body dancing like a luminous healer, bringing you home, bringing you home. Relax the mudra into the top of your lap. Inhale super deep again. And one final practice, we'll transition right into it. We're going to create another Jupiter mudra with the hands. So this is the Jupiter lock. You're going to make circles with the index fingers and the thumbs, and you're going to lock them so that they create two loops. And then curl the middle ring and pinky fingers into the center of your palm, and then hover this mudra here in front of your heart. If you are manifesting life energy toward you, and hover it here in front of your brow. if you are in the process of projecting life energy out into the world beyond. So these are two kind of key pillars in the laws of magnetism, knowing when to be a projector and when to be a manifester, and when to call things in so as to have enough generative power to then project what is needed. So make that decision based on your feelings, based on your sensations, based on everything. So create the mudra, find the place of hovering. Let me find my little instruments. So I'm going to work with yet another mantra that comes from the cutting traditions. So this is Om Mani Padme Hum, and this is a mantra that is about bowing to the jewel that is in the lotus of the human heart. Notice that I've said the word heart so many times in our meditation session today. Bowing to the jewel that is in the lotus of the heart, the ever-blooming flower of the heart. And so the jewel has, it's faceted, and so the sharp edge of the faceted jewel can then be utilized as a tool to cut through our limitations, our obstacles, our fear, you name it, whatever it is that needs to be alchemized and therefore optimized. We use the jewel right inside of us, which is then yet another living reminder that we carry the templates for these liberation teachings inside of us. That this state of awareness and consciousness isn't something that we need to quest for outside of us, but that it's all about coming home. Okay, so hovering, create a circle shape with your mouth. And as we commonly do, drink the breath in. Hold the breath and then exhale. Okay? And keep that breathing going. Looking at the tip of your nose. Keep the breathing going while I sing. Om Mani Padme 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 Om Mani Om Mani Padme 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 Om Mani Inhale wholeheartedly. Hold on to the breath for a moment. And exhale completely. Stay connected to yourself. Stay connected to, may we stay connected to each other in this time, all the time. Let us stay connected, like the geese who fly through the sky in formation. There's a reason why they fly in the shape of a V. They fly faster and they fly further when they're in formation. Let us stay really connected during this time. And before I set you free, I just want to share with you a few words from one of my favorite Sufi poets, Ibn Arabi. And he said, That the perfect person is as she was before she was as she was, or as he was before he was as he was. The perfect person is as she was before she was as she was, which tells us that we are already who we came here to be. So we use the cutting practices to get out of our own way. We use the sound to soothe us and to bring us home, to catalyze healing. I hope that you have found that in our power-packed, brief 30 minutes together. Thank you so, so much for being here for this resiliency session today. Look super forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Sat Nam. Namaste.